Dr. Antonio B. Jones has spent his life answering the divine call to serve. Antonio is the 10th of 12 children, born to Bishop Alexander and Annie Jones Jr., who instilled a sense of humility at a young age. Antonio is an Air Force veteran, realtor, minister, and dedicated public servant, carrying a work ethic inspired by his father. Family, service, and love are his guiding principles. For more than 25 years, Antonio has been married to Amicia, who is also a Fayetteville native and public servant.
God bless, God bless, God bless you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dr. Antonio Jones, your city council member for District 3, and we're here on WIDU 1600 AM 99.7 AM, and we want to welcome you to another session of Dialogue with the Doc. Man, thank you so much for playing that. You know what, that was, we try to do things a little different, and it's let me say this, some of the staff at the city, we had a little interview session and things of that nature, and they said, what's something about you that most people don't know? I said, I am a comedian. I like to laugh. I like to make people laugh because, you know, you get to be so serious all the time, whether you're pastoring or especially with government, you know, you have to be serious at so much. So my other side is like, I just like to hang loose, as they say, and have fun. So I am grateful. Thank you so much for that song, young man. I appreciate that. But again, you're listening to WIDU 1600 AM, 99.7 FM, and you are with Dialogue with the Doc. We bless you and we thank God for you, as we always do. Let us start with a short prayer. So, Father, we thank you now for this opportunity that you've given us once again to come before your people. We ask, Father, that you guide my lips, that you speak words fluently, truthfully, consistently, and in a simplistic manner in which a child would be able to understand. We take authority over these airwaves, that the message will be released quickly and it will be released very clearly. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, well, we are excited today. Before we get started, I just want you to know I do have a surprise guest right after break. I'm going to let you know who it is, but not right now. But we're excited to have him in the house on today. And I just wanted to take some time just to recap some things that we've been talking about taken from the last session. So I just wanted to jump in really quick. But before I do so, I need you all to do one thing. What's that? I'm so glad you asked. I need you to vote. I need you to vote. Early voting has already started. February 12th, it jump-started. My family and I, we made sure that we got out and voted. So it runs February 12th through the 28th. All right, with our primary election being March 3rd. Well, where are they voting? I'm so glad you asked that as well. Some of our early voting locations include Stony Point Recreation Center, the Smith Recreation Center, Kiwanis Recreation Center, East Regional Library, College Lakes Recreation Center, and of course, Cliffdale Recreation Center. So we want you to go out. I'm going to share a little more about that in a moment. So those are your voting locations. The hours, of course, starting. Well, let me just back up. We've already had one of our weekend voting sessions. We had that on already, so I want to let you know the next weekend will be February the 28th. That's going to be on a Saturday from 8 to 3 p.m. All right, many of you were asking when is the next time we can vote on a weekend. That will not be until February the 28th. But guess what? Right now you can vote from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. at those sites Monday through Friday. Please make sure that you're going out to vote. I really, really need you to do that just because these are some important elections. And as we get ready to jump forward, you know, a lot of attention is placed on municipal elections, and they should be. A lot of buzz was going around. We need to duplicate that. In all sincerity, we need to duplicate that for all election seasons. We need to duplicate that. All right. So what are some of the offices that we'll be looking at? Our federal offices, our U.S. Senate, House of Representatives, our state legislature, legislative bodies, District 19, 21, District 42 for the House, 42, 43, 44, 45. And again, if you do not see some of these individuals on there, it's because they do not have a primary. So do not get excited. They will be on the November ballot. All right. Also, as it relates to some of our judicial offices, we have some of our local superior and district court judge races, and of course, the important ones as well. All right. When I say important, all of them are important, but I want you to really see the significance of why you have to get out and vote this particular election season. We have our county offices as well. Those are our county counterparts in the form of the Cumberland County Commissioners. All right. We have 4 seats right now that are open, 2 in District 1. That's part of my district that I reside in. 2 District 1 seats and 2 at-large seats. All right. We also have on the ballot our Cumberland County Sheriffs. All right. So again, this primary, you're going to have a Democratic side and a Republican side. So we need to make sure that you go out and vote for your candidate, whoever that may be. And of course, our district attorney is running unopposed, District Attorney Billy West. So I really wanted to drive home that important aspect. We have to vote. We have to get out there and vote. And I'm so glad to see finally some forums popping up. You know, we went through a lot of forums on the municipal side, and rightly so. It's an important seat. So I would like to see that same type energy going forth, because all of these seats are important, you all, every last one of them. You just recently heard how important it is for our county and city to work together on certain aspects. Well, what determines that is who you put into office. Many times individuals, and this will take us into a portion of our show, many times individuals will make some promises that they just simply can't be fulfilled. And what does that look like? In theory, you know, a lot of us want to work on a lot of things, but behind the scenes, we have to understand this, especially anyone that's running for office. There are processes that are in place that have to be adhered to, and you have to have consensus. And you know, my favorite saying for us on city council, for me, is it takes 5 to stay alive. It takes 5 different individuals, aside from myself, making the motion for that motion to actually carry. So it is very important who you put into office. All right. So just like we have eyes on city council, I want you to keep eyes on it. I want you to keep eyes on your county offices as well, because all of them are important, you know, because I'm here out in some of my community watch meetings, but often hear some commingling of some projects and things of that nature. I'm not going deep into that. But there are some things that the county is responsible for, and of course the city is responsible for. At the same time, that does not mean that we don't work together. That just means someone has a greater responsibility to make those things occur. But what am I getting at? I'm getting at people are getting, like you, which I'm so excited for, you're getting more involved, right? It's not just the city. It's not just the county. All of these races are important, including those on the federal level, because all of us will be affected from things that occur on the federal level, the state level, the city, municipal city level, and the county level. So we have to make sure that we vote. All right, so I'm going to get off my high horse on that. So let's make sure that we do that. All right, so I want to jump in before we bring in our guests. I want to provide a few updates as it relates to city council, things of that nature. As you have known, if you've been keeping up, and you can keep up by visiting the website fayettevillenc.gov, where we have just had our strategic planning session, and I can tell you all that was a tremendous time. I'll share those proposed strategic priorities after break before we bring in our guests. But we take that time to sit back and say, okay, how do we move the city forward? And again, part of my responsibility on this show, as I promised to you all, is to share some basic information where we can really understand basic government. So that's what I'm dedicated to. And again, my disclaimer, I speak only for Antonio. I do not speak for the mayor or the collective city council. I'm speaking for Antonio Jones. And so these strategic planning meetings is where we pretty much set the path forward for the city collectively. What do we want to continue to push forward? And these are long-term goals. These are long-term goals simply because we have to be so forward thinking. If we are wanting to be, and I'm not comparing us to Raleigh, Durham, anywhere, if we want to be what Fayetteville is, we have to be forward thinking. And so we have to have leaders on all these boards that will help facilitate that. And one way that we can do that is taking a regional approach. So one of the things that we will, I will share with you now, one of the things we will continue to look at is the transportation aspect. And that's not just our fast system, that's collectively, that's rail, that's our airport, things of that nature, but it's collectively from a regional approach. So we will touch on that as well. One of the other things that we want to definitely continue to go forth in is taking a holistic approach, excuse me, at public safety. So I'm not going too deep into that. Again, these are proposals. I'll give it to you after the break. All right, so let's pivot just a little. So the last show we talked about our form of government, our council manager form of government, and we explained that. And just to give a shout out to the Impact, excuse me, Academy of Leadership. Thank you so much for recently having me. What I have done, audience, I was invited to teach a civic session to some high school and middle school students, and it was phenomenal. And we talked about basic government, and I want to share this with you all. And this is why it is important for us to get our young individuals involved early, no matter what the age. They were extremely, extremely engaged. And one of the questions that I asked them was, what are some things that concern you about the city? I want you to know, without going into a lot of detail, some of the things that they brought up were some of the things that you all have spoken on. What do they look like? The public safety aspect, of course. And number two, what I heard, they said, you know what, I want somebody that's going to hear us, right? And I want to elaborate there a little, because these were, again, 8th through 12th graders, and they were extremely engaged, extremely competent. I mean, I was extremely, extremely pleased at their level of engagement, and that's what I was there to do, to peak their level of civic engagement. But they said, you know what, I want someone that not just during election time that will just go out and say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do, and they haven't seen them out in the community. So I want to put a caveat in here, because I know I need to share this for someone. Listen, if you're working, let's say on the east side of Fayetteville, and you're doing some great work, and some people may not have heard of you on the west side or the north side, please keep doing it. It does not mean that you're not appreciated. And that's one of the things I try to share with individuals when people say, well, I haven't heard of the work that you're doing. Well, maybe we're using our voices in a different space. So that doesn't mean that we aren't being effective. So I want to encourage someone. But this particular question or answer that they posed, it got me thinking, and so I wanted to dig a little deeper. So I asked them, you know what, do you know people that vote? And some said yes, and they said, do you know some that don't vote? And they were like, yes. So I was like, okay, let's talk about that. And I'm going somewhere with this. And they basically said many people have informed them that they do not vote because they, one, feel as if it will not make a difference, and number two, they don't feel as if their voices are going to be heard. So can I tell you, before we even talk about any policy things, which I'm going to dig into, I want to say those are very two important things, because as elected, as a leader, period, you have to learn to listen. Does that mean that we're always going to agree on everything? No, it does not. It simply means I'm going to take and hear, literally and sincerely hear your voice, your concerns, and filter it, and filter any decision that I have, filter it through that. And wherever that may be at the end, that's another discussion. But at the end of the day, you need to know that you're being heard. So that's one of the things that I took away from these young folks, and I want to put this on there as we pivot again. If you are 16 or 17 years of age, or if you know anyone that's 16 or 17 years of age, they can pre-register to vote. They can pre-register to vote. And what does that look like? Going to the North Carolina Board of Elections site and registering there. So 16, 17-year-olds, you can already get the ball rolling, and you can jump in and get started to set your voting process in motion. So that's something some of you can set up. You can set up pre-registrations for young people. That's one of the things I've shared with them, so I wanted to share it with you. All right, so now let's pivot again. As it relates to public, one of our last meetings. So I'll jump into that in just a moment. So you're listening again to WIDU 1600 AM. You're listening to Dialogue with the Doc.
Reverend Jesse Jackson, the longtime civil rights activist, Baptist minister, two-time presidential candidate, and graduate of A&T State University in Greensboro, died this morning at the age of 84. President Donald Trump says he will be indirectly involved with the talks with Iran scheduled to happen in Geneva on Tuesday. The president also says he'll meet with Democrats to discuss funding the Department of Homeland Security. Governor Josh Stein was in Woodfin near Asheville, where he made an announcement on Monday about flood resiliency in western North Carolina. He made the announcement on the banks of the French Broad River. In Arizona this morning, the search continues for Nancy Guthrie. Overseas, in Milan, the latest on the Winter Games, and the U.S. picks up a couple of more medals. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. At about 3 p.m. on Monday, January 19th, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office responded to 4455 Sidds Mill Road in Fayetteville in reference to a larceny. The two suspects stole 15 copper ground rods from the back of a Line Tech Services truck. The suspects then left the scene in a white Chevy pickup. If you have any information about the investigation, contact the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office Property Crimes Detective W. Haynes at 910-223-3325. Last week, County Commissioner Patel visited the Cumberland County Animal Services to deliver pup cups and a little extra encouragement to the hardworking team and the animals in their care. While adoptions remain temporarily paused due to a recent respiratory illness, case numbers are steadily declining, and they are moving carefully through a phased reopening. Join them for a drive-through pet food distribution event today, 2 until 4 p.m. at 4704 Corporation Drive. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
A cold start here to our Tuesday morning, but as we go throughout the day, it's really the brightest day of the week, a nice one to get outside. As we head into the afternoon, most of us looking at high temperatures in the mid-60s and an increase in cloud cover heading into the overnight hours with temperatures mid to upper 40s. Wednesday's a breezy day, mostly cloudy, but still quite warm. High temperatures around 65 to 70 degrees by the afternoon. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the Weather Center.
If you are on Medicare, scammers may target you to steal your identity. Remember, Medicare will never call you asking for personal details. The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medicare Patrol program is here to protect you from fraud and provides you with knowledge to stay safe. Contact SMP today at ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
You have always put others before yourself. Put your country above all else. Given everything you can, every time. Now it's time to forge a new path. At Fayetteville State University, we believe your service is our debt. So we're offering free military family tuition. Yes, absolutely free. And with new programs like cybersecurity, anything really can happen. Fayetteville State University. Are you in?
If you can no longer work because of illness or injury, you should be collecting Social Security disability insurance benefits. Call Brent Adams now for a free consultation. Don't give up just because you've been turned down. Brent Adams has helped thousands collect full disability benefits, even after they've been turned down. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
This is Pastor Neil of the New Covenant Christian Faith Church Ministries, 5427 Murkison Road, and I am proud to be a member of Wake Up.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're listening to WIDU 1600 AM 99.7 FM, and you are here with me, Antonio Jones, your District 3 City Council member on Dialogue with the Doc. Welcome, welcome again. We thank you all for the second half of our show, and I'm going to finish up my updates, but before I do, I want to introduce this great man that we have in the studio with us. Amen. I know some of you all have seen him around, just doing some great things, phenomenal things. So I want to let him introduce himself, Mr. Robert Lee Edwards Jr.
How's everybody doing? Yeah, my name is Robert Edwards Jr. Excited to be here, team market owner of the Fayetteville Liberty. We're excited to be here in the city of Fayetteville, and of course operating inside of Cumberland County, man. So thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna get right back to Rob. I can call you Rob today.
Let's do it.
All right. We're gonna get right back to him. I want to keep my word and give you these quick proposed council priorities. And again, you can go to my website. You can go to our Facebook page under Councilman Antonio Jones. Make sure you put Councilman there, and it will take you to the page. Our website is www.antoniojones4nc.com. All right. Again, these are proposed 2027 council priorities. I'll go through these fairly quickly. Goal 1, a safe and secure community. The proposed City Council priority is continuing to implement a comprehensive approach to public safety. I've spoke to that earlier. Goal number 2 as it relates to economic and strategic growth. The proposal is enhance economic growth opportunities throughout the city. Proposal number 2 is commit to expanding housing and neighborhood revitalization, emphasizing affordable housing needs. Key, emphasizing affordable housing needs. All right, goal number 3, a desirable place to live, work, and recreate. The proposal is to improve and expand transportation. I would put up 2 hands if I could. All right, transit and other connectivity needs for our residents. Goal number 4, financially sound city providing exemplary services. Keynote here, won't have time to dive in. Financially sound does not just mean having a balanced budget. That's bare minimum. So there's a lot of different caveats in that, but I want to make that extremely clear. And then goal number 5, collaborative citizen and business engagement. All right. And lastly, as it relates to city council updates, mark your calendars, February 23rd. That will be the next public forums on the multi-lane uses. And basically, I've shared that with you all earlier, how in some of the neighborhoods, you'll see a solid line, Mr. Rob. There's a solid shoulder line that's in some of the neighborhoods where individuals are able to park, they're able to jog, push strollers, do different types of things. And so there was a proposal put forth that would allow residents, you all as residents, to decide from block to block or intersection to intersection if you all collectively would want parking in those areas. So of course it would follow the same procedure as speed humps. So this is your time to voice your opinion. So we know in some areas, some individuals have to park in these areas, right? And then on the other side, some individuals, if you have a funeral or a get together, that may be the only place to park. And the other side, the third part is individuals that are running and jogging, having to get outside of the lane and get into the potential flow of traffic. So we want to hear from you, all right? So make sure that you're there. Lastly, I want to mention very quickly the new public forum policy aspect, and I do want to make something extremely clear before I do this. The City Council did not create a special meeting just for public hearings. That is inaccurate. And what does that mean? We have regular meetings on the second and fourth Mondays. Of course, everyone knows that. And we also have a regular meeting on the first Monday. This has been in place for years. They just call it, it's just called a work session. But it's a regular meeting, right? And how do you know it's a regular meeting? It's not an emergency meeting. It's not an emergency meeting. It's not a special meeting. So if it's not any of those, it is by definition, a regular meeting. So that work session is where we will have the public forum. Now, those work sessions will start at 3 p.m. and we'll go on until we're over. So roughly, again, don't hold me to this, we're looking at probably around 6:15 that the public forums will be able to get started. But I did want to provide some clarity for that. We have regular meetings. Most of our meetings are regular. Good way to think of it, if it's not an emergency meeting, meaning like a natural disaster or something of that nature, or if something literally isn't deemed special, it is a regular meeting, and that's by statute, and you can find that at 160A 71. So I want to provide some clarity with that. But we're excited. It extends to an hour, and so we get to hear more of residents' residents' opinions and what their thoughts are on certain things that are coming up. And so someone asked this, so I do want to put it out there. I'm not on county by any means, but they also meet. I hear this a lot in my community watch meetings. They meet on the first and third Mondays, 9 a.m. on the first Monday, and 6:45 p.m. on the third Monday. Again, go to their website and you can get information on that. All right, as it relates to our updates, that pretty much does it. And I want to say this as we transition to focus on this young man in front of us in the great Fayetteville Liberty. We are going to make sure that we work with our county counterparts as much as we can. As it relates to the proposed joint 911 center, there's a lot of work that has to be done. For me, I want to hear from the end users. I want to hear from the individuals that are doing the work, how it would impact them, things of that nature. Now, I would state the obvious, Mr. Rob. We're policymakers. We know that. We know that. For me, I want to hear about the individuals that are doing the work. I really, really want to do. So this is not something I'm going to jump in full steam ahead without having some background information and sharing and hearing from those individuals. So do we collaborate? Absolutely. I think that's a foregone conclusion, but I wanted to share that. All right, well, that would do it for our updates on today. So I just wanted to provide that. And I want to take the rest of our time to focus on this young man in front of me representing the Fayetteville Liberty. I know you might look, Mr. Robbie, I might not look like it now, but man, I could handle a rock back in the day.
I heard. Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So welcome to the show. We're excited to have you here. I mean, we're just excited. So can you tell us a little about yourself and then about what your vision is here for Fayetteville Liberty?
Wow. First of all, again, I'm extremely excited to not only just be here, but just representing the city at large, right? Yes. And then the Fayetteville Liberty, man. It's been a wonderful journey. I'm a 17-year military veteran, CW2. Did my time, and I enjoyed every bit of it. And I start with that because everything that we're doing now literally is a conduit of what has been learned prior to, military, ministry, served as a worship pastor for several years. And I'm gonna tell you, if you can deal with church folk, you can deal with the word.
I agree
I'm
with
just
that.
gonna be for real.
No, I'm with you.
I'm gonna tell you. So it just gives you just a broad spectrum of just how to understand systems and people and stuff like that. And I believe that the Liberty is a direct reflection of all of those experiences, right? And I'm excited again. So we bought and purchased the Fayetteville Liberty in 2024. Okay. And so oftentimes when you do an expansion team like the Fayetteville Liberty or any type of pro sports affiliations, you try to play immediately. You know what I mean? Because you want that return on investment immediately. Understood. We took a different approach. We said, hey, we want to put seed in the ground. We want to let it die, walk away, and then allow it to spring forth fruit that is going to, that's going to be a reflection of the city. That's good. And so we purchased in 2024, and we used all of 2025 as a gap year to make collaborations, to make connections just like this. And so we've been able to have impactful partners and sponsors. We're up to about 15 sponsors, probably over 10 partners, and they all serve a certain level of inject into what the Liberty is doing, right? But it also creates a certain level of legitimacy. Yes. And so really, we do a phenomenal job, in my opinion, of allowing the team to be reflective of the city at large. This is not an I movement. There's no big I's. There's no little U's. We really do pride ourselves in making sure that the team is a direct reflection of itself. And then we also we're trying to do the best job we can to bring the city and the county together to have a mutual conversation, because we're mutually invested in what this is going to look like to be successful. We can't do it without the city. We can't do it without the county at large, and more importantly, the people that make up those two entities, right? Whether it be leadership, whether it be, households, families, neighborhoods, the whole nine. And so we're really just adamant about that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you said something that struck me as interesting, and just to me, it's a no-brainer. And you said something. You said basically you took that gap year to establish relationships, get into community. And I say that because a lot of times, sometimes people come, they have good ideas and good intentions, and you jump in it immediately without establishing those things. And can it be done right when you start and try to establish? Of course. The reason I like what you've done, simply because you're letting the community know, hey, we're here, we're vested, we're here for you, we definitely need you. And to me, you front load, for lack of a better word, you front load that work on the beginning. So now you're building momentum, right? Because I've been hearing it, bro. I've been hearing it. And that to me is phenomenal, because I think we have we have a dynamic recreational population here. I mean, they engage from hockey, softball, basketball. I mean, you name it, swimming, right? We just honored the E.E. Smith swim teams for their championship. So this is a very diverse population. So to hear you say that you did that to me, it speaks volumes.
I think that, the Liberty at large, we have a hope.community mission statement. Before we compete, before we entertain, our goal is to connect. And so we had to do more than just create some sort of mantra, some sort of vision statement that sounded good, right? And so alongside these partnerships and these sponsorships and these collaborative injects, right, we had to really show ourselves to be true to what it is that we say. We've done that through 3 camps across the Fayetteville Liberty, hosting one, MWR asking us to host one for our service members and family members. And then the Office of Community Safety even were like, you know what, can you guys come and be a part of some things that we're doing here in the city, man? But more important thing is that I'm excited about is, before we've even played a game, we started a Scholar Awards program and said, you know what, we believe into what the future looks like, and how do you do that without sowing into your youth? That's good. And so the testimony, if I could say it in that particular regard, is, we put out a Scholar Awards program, but we were also privileged to go to Alger B. Wilkins, that school. And so they didn't even apply. But when we got there, I was there to do a Motivational Monday, right? And I said, even if you didn't apply for the Scholar Award, we still want to do something right here on the moment, impactful, right? And we created a Resilience Award right there on the spot to show them that, hey, that you're still seen, even if you sometimes may feel like underrepresented or whatever that looks like. And so we use that as an opportunity to say, we're qualifying folk for things they don't think they're justified for. That could be the church boy in me. That could be the preach in me. But seriously, we're adamant about, for real, allowing people to see themselves within our program. I worked with Pastor Mike Jr. For a while. I was graced to do that And one of the things he told me, he said, Rob, man, you're not with me to be my videographer for life. You're with me so I can show you speed. And right, so you know, someone of that platform and that magnitude, #1 gospel recording artist in the world, said, hey, you know, even if this is not your lane, I'm going to show you how to manage a lane that's similar. Come on. And he said, you know, so taking that gap year, what was crazy about that was when Rock City moved to the building that they're in right now, it happened during COVID. Right. Wow. And so it happening in that space, that was kind of like a gap year, so to speak. Yeah. And so that was the year where he had to operate in extreme faith. And he said, Rob, you know, when you go through moments like this, he's doing it for 3 reasons: to get things off you, to get things to you, and to get things through you. And can I trust you with all 3 of those layers? And so this gap year has been nothing more than a testament of really being trusted with what it is that God has kind of given us, you know what I mean? Yes. And I genuinely believe it's not my own. It doesn't belong to our staff at large. This is something genuinely I'm just a carrier of this particular mission statement. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree 100%. Yeah. So now I want to ask you something, because I'm looking on your breast, man. I'm loving that logo. So what's the impetus behind the logo, the colors? I'm going to have to cop one of them. Funny story. So I had talked about buying the team about 2-3 years ago. And, you know, I just didn't know what to call it. And, you know, when you rush, you ruin it, right? Yes, so I couldn't call us the sharpshooters. I couldn't call us the guard. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. Well, one day, Fort Bragg messed around and became Fort Liberty. And I remember I called my GM, Tyrus Ray. I said, Ty, I think I got it. And he said, what, man? I said, we're going to be the Fayetteville Liberty. He said, what? I said, nah, man, Fayetteville Liberty, man. And so then Fort Liberty messed around and said, you know what? I want to go back to my old namesake. And then Ty called me back. He said, man, God, I think you picked the right one. You know what I mean? And our goal was to have a name that had state and city level legitimacy already. Absolutely. Trying to create a brand. And let's just be honest. Let's really parallel park right there. Yes, sir. The basketball business, if I could say, to the city of Fayetteville has been of detriment. Yes. Over the years. It just has been. And we understood what we were coming up against in terms of trying to right shape wrongdoings, trying to right shape what it's done to families, what it's done to players that really put their all into it, put their last into it, if I could say it that way. Absolutely. Some of these players, man, they're using what they have left to use that as an opportunity to continue the shelf life of their career. So before they were able to kind of connect with what it is that we're doing, I had to give a name. God had to give me a name that had legitimacy already attached to it. So, you know, trying to recreate the wheel, I'm just going to operate in the lane that's already been created. And so if I'm honest, marketing 101, find a lane that's working, right? Yes. And then, like, you know, tailor it to where it is that you're trying to go. And I think, you know, using that whole premise was pretty good for us. And then in terms of the logo, you know, again, military service, the whole 9, you know, kind of want to be with the Knights type situation and just understanding, you know, our counterparts and stuff like that. But this is really symbolic of really what the Liberty stands for: freedom, support, protecting, and defending. And then just being legitimate, being steadfast. Yeah. I like that. And you said something, and I honestly, Antonio, appreciate your transparency, because one of the things some have said, they said, well, what makes them different? And they, again, not going anywhere. And you just explained that. So thank you so much. I mean, that right there speaks within itself. So as it relates to the team, can you talk about quickly the league that you're in, how the schedules will be, and then we'll end up with your opening night? So we're in the TBL, the basketball league. They're founded about 8 years ago. They're based out of Indianapolis. Just for context, we're the next league right under the NBA G League. And so for competitive play, trying to get guys overseas, the CBA, the whole 9, this is the league that you want to be in, because it's the direct league that serves as a feeder program for you to take your talents to the next level. We got upwards of 7 to 8 guys that are already operating out of the TBL in the NBA G League as it speaks right now. And then we have a very successful rate of transfer for guys to go over and play basketball at the next level overseas. And that's what it's about. It's really about extending the shelf life of these guys.
basketball careers. Some of these guys didn't get the high level contracts, opportunities at D1 or whatever that looks like. So our goal is to put us in a position where you don't have to go to Atlanta, you don't have to go to Charlotte, you don't have to go to Chicago. You can stay right here in your home city and represent your city, number one, stay close to family, and then we create the opportunity for you to go abroad and extend your basketball career. So we're a part of the TBL. We do a 20-game season, and we also do 10 home games. Okay. So we're going to be right here at the Crown Complex Arena, and I'm excited about that.
Outstanding, outstanding. So the last few minutes, what can we expect? I'm looking here at your opening night, and I see you have Petey Pablo.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. So, again, going back to Pastor Mike Jr., one of my phenomenal mentors, he told me, he said, man, you didn't meet me to be, my videographer for life. You met me because, again, I want to show you what's possible. I don't have that opportunity. We don't even believe that we can reach out to an agent or whatever that looks like, or not even understand the process of how to reach out to, companies and things of the such. And so, one day I was just sitting, talking with my general manager, and I was like, hey, we're playing the Raleigh Firebirds opening night, interstate rivalry at its best, and shout out to the Raleigh Firebirds. They were the division champions last year. All right. So the TBL sent us up with a tall task. I said, look, man, I don't know what opening night's going to look like, but if we want to create some sort of advantage, we got to pack the house, number one. Number two, we got to put some entertainment on the floor where they kind of coming and looking at us like, man, I don't know what we just walked into. Now, y'all just walked into Liberty Nation. That's right. It. I love it. And so in order to do that, we got some activations that are happening, but specifically excited about Petey Pablo coming opening night. The first 500 fans are going to get their raise up towels. He's popular for the state. I like to call it the state song, North Carolina Raise Up, okay? We're excited about that, man, and really want to get behind what it is that we're doing, because we understand that everybody that comes opening night may not be basketball lovers. Sure. But what I'm adamant about is that for a set apart time, we're all believing for the same thing at the same time. And that's just having a good time, providing entertainment for the family, and just something that the city can be proud of at large.
That's awesome. And you answered actually my next question, what can we expect? And you shared it with us. So opening night is Friday, March the 6th. What time do doors open? How can individuals get tickets? How can they learn more about your organization?
Huge. The doors open at 6 o'clock. The game tip-off is at 7. We got a whole bunch of activations. You want to get there early. Again, the first 500 fans, you're going to get the rally towels and things like that. You got to get your rally towel. But we have some other activations and other partners, and I want to highlight that too. We got partners and sponsors that are going to be there with activations, using that opportunity to extend their shelf life of their business as well. We don't just have partners and sponsors, and I'm going to say this, I may get in trouble, but we're not just doing donations, if I could say it that way. Yes. This is really an advertisement tool and an opportunity to extend the reach of not only our platform, but the partners and platforms that align with us. Sure. We do 300,000, 400,000 insights every 30 days. And so our goal, again, is not to be seen independently, but it's to extend the reach and influences of ourselves and our partners alike, right? Mm-hmm. So you come to those opportunities. The game starts at 7. Get there. The doors open at 6. Get your rally towels. There's going to be opportunities for friends, family members, our youth. We got a kids corner that you're going to be able to participate in. Love it. You're going to be able to meet the players if you come early enough. We have some after game activations that I can't talk about now, because if I tell you, you get to make premature decisions. No, you need to come out and hang out with us, man. Experience the whole Liberty Nation night of fun. And again, www.faylibernc.com for your tickets. Of course, crowncomplexnc.com. And if you don't have that, man, go to Ticketmaster and you can search Fayetteville Liberty and you get your tickets there.
Absolutely. Now, lastly, I thought I heard you have a special marching band that's coming.
Oh, man, I'm excited. I'm excited. You can't have Petey Pablo if you ain't got a band. Yes. Everybody knows the infamous movie Drumline set the standard for that. So Holt County High School is going to be hanging out with us, man. It's going to be a phenomenal time. Oh, man, I'm excited about that. And I think they got a surprise. Our team has an anthem song that was already created a year out. I told you, we didn't just buy the team a year out and not have themes and things like that attached to what it is that we're doing. So you might hear the Fayetteville Liberty's theme song first performed by Holt County High that night as well, man. So shout out to them. We're glad that they're going to be a part of what it is that we're doing. And again, raise up, y'all. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm excited. You all, if you could feel the energy in here, I really care. I'm excited. You make me want to let me go on and see what let me not even play like that. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But you bring a level of excitement. I can feel it. I can discern it. And so we're excited. We really, really are excited. And this is special to me. My sons played basketball all throughout their years, and even when they were in high school, one was in junior high, they were selected to play for the Team USA in the World Games overseas at, I think, 14 and 15 or so. So that experience is real. So when you say it provides an opportunity, I want those of you that are listening or know someone, let them know, hey, it's possible. And it starts right here. We have an opportunity to see some young men that will do some great things, has already been engaged in the community, and we get to see some great basketball being played. And so I want to encourage each of you, please make sure if you do not have your ticket, I'm going to let you close us out with the giving us the information again in regards to where they can get tickets. But again, Friday, March the 6th, doors open at what time?
They open at 6 o'clock and the game tips off at 7.
All right, so we need you there. Go ahead and get your tickets. Invite individuals out. Make it a family night out. And I love what you said. If you're not basketball, if you don't love basketball, what you described was entertainment, was a space activation that said, you know what, we're going to have something that touches everybody. So in closing, what would you like to share for all of our listeners before we sign off?
Genuinely, we need your support. For things like this to last, it's not just the entertainment side. It's not just all the resources and acquisitions that go into it. It's genuinely the body of people that, again, support the organization at large. Get behind the movement. We genuinely need your help. We need your support. But most importantly, we need your belief that this is possible, and then understanding that this is going to impact, legacies, and generations, down the line. We have our young men, and soon to be, hopefully, our female league that's going to start soon, and this is a system and community body of work where, your children at middle school, high school, all the way through college have an opportunity to be fostered through the Fayetteville Liberty, because we have development teams and stuff like that are going to be underneath what we're doing. So this doesn't start or end with our male adult team. This is genuinely a community product, and we need the community at large to be a part of it.
Outstanding. Well, thank you so much. And you all, thank you. You have been listening to Dialogue with the Doc here on WIDU 1600 AM. I want to invite you again to follow me at Councilman Antonio Jones on Facebook. The website is www.antoniojones4nc.com. And sir, you said something that I ran on, and it was not a slogan, it was restoring hope. And we do that one action at a time, one decision at a time. So again, join us next month as we come back, and we have some great individuals on here. Mr. Rob, we thank you. We wish you the best. We definitely will be praying over the Fayetteville Liberty. And please know, go get your tickets. All right, thank you so much for listening to WIDU 1600 AM 99.7 Dialogue with the Doc. God bless you.